70% of Americans have some level of digestive disturbances. I remember years ago when the first proton pump inhibitor came out. We had a black box warning on that said you really shouldn't be using this for more than 4 weeks or 6 weeks because of these things that it would do to you. Now it's over the counter, so that Uncle Charlie can eat that hot sausage with peppers and onions and won't get his stomach upset. Well, we knew back then that the purple pill, those proton pump inhibitors, would stop our digestive processes. For the short term, you can live with that. In long term, you weren't absorbing, breaking out calcium from your food, B12. So ultimately, you could get neuropathy, you could get osteopenia, osteoporosis. And now we find 30 years later, since we were that long-term experiment by just taking these drugs for so long, that we're getting chronic kidney disease and dementia from taking those same purple pills that are now over the counter that I have people taking for 10, 12 years. When you take something that stops your digestive processes, we're not thinking about that food is not sterile. So that if you ever have eaten out, ever, and we're not talking just McDonald's, but major restaurants or other restaurants, there are visitors that visit that food in the middle of the night if it's been left out. Whether they're this tiny or they're this big with tails, and they usually leave something behind on the food. If you stop your digestive processes, including your hydrochloric acid that begins the process, then you're not killing those bacteria that have been left behind, or that yeast, fungus, or that virus. And now that gets into your intestine and other things happen. So again, it was just the point about the stronger the drug becomes, the stronger the side effects. So how do you treat somebody who has some digestive disturbance? Well, the first thing we would do is say, well, there are certain foods that many people are sensitive to. So let's look to avoid some of these top 5 foods that may have been gluten, dairy, corn, soy, peanuts, eggs. Now we get into something else. What's the problem with corn or soy? 85, 90 or more percent of corn and soy in the country is genetically modified. So now you have a genetic modification, you have the use of glyphosate, Roundup on these crops, which we know the glyphosate itself kills good bacteria in the gut, changes your liver's ability to detoxify. Digestive disturbances, 70% of Americans have some level of digestive disturbances.